Not a drill, and this kind of turns the question on its head. Funny thing, a DS did, but had this experience 2 weeks before graduation. Army Infantry Benning. Our senior drill was having a sort of stern pep talk with us because he didn't think we were pushing ourselves hard enough. He was fully in drill sergeant mode, which wasn't always the case that late in the OSUT cycle. 14 weeks, basic training plus infantry training. As we're getting lectured, he stops in his tracks and stares at one guy in particular. He shouts,
"Who the hell are you?"
The rest went like this, pretty much verbatim. Me, drill sergeant?
Yes, you. Who the hell are you?
I'm Private White, drill sergeant.
Private White? Are you in the wrong bay, Private White?
Now, we're all a bit fidgety and confused because Private White was definitely not in the wrong bay. No, drill sergeant? We could all hear the question. Was White about to get his world screwed up for some reason?
Private White.
The DI kind of chewed on the name, then added,
When did you get here?
I've been here the whole time, drill sergeant. 3 months in and our DI had no recollection of this kid. We weren't sure what was going to happen at that point. I think I saw the DI's lips twitch, but he didn't crack a smile. He did, however, end his talk and move us on to hygiene. I don't even know if being that forgettable in a platoon is a good thing or a bad thing. It's gotta be a good thing, right? Because why else would you be memorable to a drill instructor? Only because you've screwed up a lot, right? So not being remembered at all isn't a bad thing, I think. Story 38. At the Qual Range on Benning, March 2009. Cycle is almost over and we're all pumped to move into OSUT/AIT. I was behind the firing line with the rest of the jackasses eating chow. I had a DS that was built like Tyron Woodley, with scars all over his face and neck. Told us he was in Operation Anaconda as a private, and did multiple tours in Iraq. He had a voice like a bulldog swallowed gravel, was always angry, and was built like a Greek god. A truly magnificent specimen. Anyway, at the beginning of basic, he once said that the gravest sin we could ever make was to fart in his presence. So I'm sitting there Indian style behind the firing line, unapologetically, absolutely face-banging a bag of chili mac when all of a sudden, I let a silent one squeak out. Except that I was still wearing ear protection. And it was more like the Horn of Gondor calling for aid. This dude snaps his head around like he heard me open up a bag of tropical flavor Skittles, also prohibited, and just points at me like a giant black techno Viking. This guy heard my thunderous butt bellowing through his own ear protection while on the firing line, which, by the way, super impressive on multiple levels. What did I do? Oh, the only logical thing, of course. I started making raspberry sounds with a mouth full of chili mac, like I was B-Rabbit, beatboxing for the Underground Championship. He put me in the front-leaning rest for the entire time we were out there. While he was coaching, my non-integrity having butt was laying flat on my gut. When I even had a hunch that he was going to turn around, I would stick my butt in the air in the proper modified resting position. He would point to the ground, I'd bang out like 5 or 6, and when he turned back around, I'd lay flat again. 3 hours later, when everyone qualled except me, of course, he told me to recover and calmly said to not crap in his mouth ever again, Private. Again, I was like 100 meters behind the firing line, but okay, I guess. Story 39. I wasn't the DS, but the trainee. I was in the shower and I heard someone yell my name. I thought it was one of the guys in my platoon, so I responded, "What? Can I get 5 freaking minutes in peace?" Next thing I heard was the unmistakable voice of one of our DS shouting,
"What the hell did you just say?"
and the sound of boots stomping towards me. I began apologizing as fast as possible, standing butt naked at parade rest. He said if I ever raised my voice again, he'd be back naked next time for some action, aka assaulting my butt. He then told me I had a lighter and to come grab it from his office and walked off. Story 40. A fellow trainee dropped his cup while in line at the DFAC. Senior DS hears it and yells out,
"Whose cup was it, huh?"
So the kid goes to parade rest and says it was his, and SDS replies with,
"What did that cup ever do to you? Apologize to that cup. Say you're sorry."
He starts with an, "I'm sorry," but was told it wasn't good enough. So the trainee says, "I'm sorry for dropping you, cup. I didn't mean to." And SDS then tells him,
"Now name that cup. Give it a name."
The cup's name was Robert. A few minutes later, someone else dropped a cup, same deal. After that, some kid dropped his salad, and SDS shouted,
"How are you gonna apologize to that?"
Story 41. So not a DS, but this is from my time in basic, and it's gonna be long, by the way. My battle buddy got caught getting head from a female in our platoon. The DS didn't interrupt. He just walked out of the laundry room where they decided to do the deed. He did wait outside for my battle buddy and the other soldier to leave the laundry room. All he did was tell my battle buddy to come get me so we could have a chat with the first sergeant. We go into first sergeant's office and our DS just starts laying into the guy. A few minutes later, the DS pauses, sticks his nose against my battle buddy's, looks him in the eye, and in this low, menacing voice asks,
"Where did you nut, Private?"
It took every ounce of willpower I had to not double over with laughter. Battle buddy was gobsmacked. He started stuttering and couldn't get a full word out. Then, after being silent the entire time, our first sergeant hauls it across the room. He yells,
"You freaking heard him, you hard-donged freaking waste of a good mouth. Where did you freaking nut?"
Battle buddy starts crying. In between sobs, he blurts out, "In her mouth, DS." I lost it. DS lost it. FS lost it. Good times all around. I don't really understand military culture, but what I do get is that if anyone intimidating enough yelled at me, I would also probably cry. Great reason why I couldn't be in the military. But this question? I don't even know what's going on. This doesn't sound like it could be real, but you know what? Is weird enough that I'm sure it is. Story 42. Not a drill sergeant, but going through boot camp, I heard some great ones. During the beginning of basic, we were monitored while we ate, which included being told when to begin consuming and when to stop. We had this chubby kid who was having a particularly rough time, and you could see he was already close to breaking. So we are told our chow time is up, and we all instantly get up from our seats, form a line next to the wall at the end of our tables, and clear our trays into a trash can at the end. Chubby kid doesn't join us, but instead chooses to sit and finish his meal. He is completely alone in the middle of the mess hall. A drill instructor comes up and immediately begins berating him. Chubby kid looks the drill instructor dead in the eyes while sitting, and has a completely insane look. In his hand he has a butter knife clenched in what I can only describe as a threatening manner. Without missing a beat, the drill instructor yelled at him,
What are you gonna do with that, Tubby? Spread me on your freaking toast?
Story 43. I was in Navy boot camp, and one of our RDCs was giving some kind of instruction/order to the 4 girls who did the in-house laundry in the laundry room. He finished speaking and you hear the following. Yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer. Okie dokie. Everyone froze, stared at the door where we could see P.O. Cobble just standing there, looking like a vein was about to burst in his neck. We thought he was going to explode with rage. Instead, he clenched his jaw, turned on his heel, and walked out faster than I'd ever seen anyone move in my life. He barely managed to get into the private office before he completely broke up in hysterical laughter. We could just barely hear it through the walls. The one who said it was affectionately named Lightbulb Head, and just about all of my favorite stories involve her in some way. Story 45. Several years ago, I had a soldier who was taking food back to our barracks. Fellow platoon drill sergeant found it and told me about it. Called the entire platoon downstairs, formed them up, and inquired to the entire formation about this red DFAC apple in my hand. Soldier confessed immediately. I asked him why. He replies with, I was hungry, drill sergeant. I follow up with, okay, private, I'm going to make sure you don't go to bed hungry. Eat this apple. Bring him to the front, give him the apple, then turn around to address the platoon. Commenced to dusting the crap out of this platoon. I mean, I'm trying to break their bodies down as quickly as possible. Inform him they will keep going as he slowly takes his first bite. By now, I'm excited. Oh, take your time. Only a few minutes later, drill sergeant, I'm done. I ask where the core is. I ate it, drill sergeant. By now, I'm in disbelief and search in throwing distance for the core. There's nothing. I ask him why he ate the core, and he says, because you told me to eat the apple, drill sergeant. This terrified man ate the entire freaking apple. I mean that green leafy crap, stem, the crunchy crap for the seeds, and the seeds. I stopped everything and told everyone to disappear immediately. I couldn't believe it, nor have I seen anything like it before or after. I have a ton of stories, but this one always brings tons of laughter. This guy heard the stories about one guy getting the whole group punished and did not want to be that guy. He was like, I know what I gotta do. And by God, he did it. Well done, man. Story 46. Not a drill sergeant, but something funny mine said. Little bit of background. Week 0 of basic. Slipped in the shower because of the stupid shower slippers that they issued. Split my head open pretty good. Granted, it's only like the second night. Had to go to the ER, all that jazz. Fast forward to the end of basic, we're all lined up in formation and getting our uniforms inspected before we go out on town pass. As my drill sergeant comes up to me, he asks me,
What'd your mom say when you busted your nugget?
Sir, she was mad I didn't tell her sooner. He finishes his look over my uniform and exclaims, my baby, in his best girly voice as he marches away. Last I ever saw of him. Story 47. Not a drill sergeant or even a sergeant. I served my 2 years in the Singapore Armed Forces for my national service. During field camp, a 5 days 4-night camp out in the field, basic military training, we just finished our training and were gathered to have our lunch. Right after lunch, we usually check our equipment, like our rifles and magazines, to make sure nothing was missing, and reported to a guy in our platoon who will report to the sergeants. Everyone reported no missing items, but the sergeant major walked over from his tent and shouted,
You all confirm no missing items? Want to check again?
Well, still no missing items.
Then why is there an extra rifle in my tent?
That's when the dude in my section stands up and says it was his rifle. We all cringed and asked why the hell he said nothing was missing. My magazine, gas rag, and muzzle aren't missing from my rifle. Yeah, but your freaking rifle is missing. I'm sure the sergeant major had a good time making us do push-ups in the mud after lunch.